can go now. Alright, our CSS. We built CSS using what we've done on the HTML structure. So on the HTML structure, please be dropping a message in the chat so that I can be able to check in and see what we're having. And I believe everyone is seeing my screen already. So this is the HTML structure of the simple one-page site that we did, and we basically had a little stuff on the CSS, and that was the image. So I'm going to take out this entirely, and let's preview. Let's have our show preview so that we'll see the raw form of it. This is the raw form of it. You can see how big the logo is. You can see how big the logo is. So this is the raw form of what we have. You can see how big the logo is, and that of our HTML structure, you see it. So we're going to key in on the style. So first of all, if we're styling, make sure you take a look at your classes. We'll give classes. What are classes? Classes are what we actually use to have a direct target or a direct reference to a particular thing on your HTML. First of all, we're going to start with the header. This is the header over here. So we have linked our CSS. We have linked our CSS, and that is it. Link ref. Let me remove the linking, and we can do it afresh. So over here I have my files, which is on this aspect. I have my files, and on my files here you can see the logo folder, the index.html, index.css. So we will link to our CSS. You come inside the header tag and you link to your CSS. So you type in the link, and this is the link. You select and you give it a target, is either absolute part or relative part. So I will use the slash sign, and it will show me list of what I have in my folder. I have index.css. I will select index.css, and we can now start giving a class. So under the header, our logo has a class of logo. So the first thing to do is to give your default. The first thing to do in your CSS, give your CSS reset, default reset. When we say default reset, if you look at what I have here, you see on this HTML that we're having margins and padding. We have default margins and padding. That's the spaces between these edges. Default margins and paddings, the spaces between the write-ups and the pictures. These are margins and padding. So we're going to give us reset to tell it that we don't want the default, we want to create our own by ourselves, and it's very, very important. So to give your default or CSS reset, you use the star sign. When you use the star sign, it is the reset sign. Then you make a gap and give your curly bracket. Alright, then you say margin of, of 0. Then you can see what is happening here. The margin will collapse. You can see now that what we have on this aspect, it has collapsed to the edge of our screen. That's because we've given it a margin of 0. Then a padding, we'll have a padding on the next line. You give it a padding of 0, and let's check out. If you give it a padding of 0, that's the reset. You've seen what we have here. The whole write-up are compacted now. If I take this out, it will come back to how it was. Look at how it was. Alright, then we'll remove it, we'll bring it back. It has compacted. The reason is because you as a developer, you're going to give it you are not even a developer. Front end is not development. So you as a web, okay, let me call it web developer. You as a web developer, you are going to give it a default, your own kind of padding and margin. So another thing is the box size, and these three things are the first thing you should do. the box sizing of border box. I'm going to bring this down and I'll give it a comment. Always make sure you comment on your code. I'll give it a comment and I'll say CSS resets. That is the comments. So why are we placing comments? We are placing comments for people or other developers that's going to work on the back end to see. The person doesn't need to start cracking brain of what is happening. Once the person is seeing this already, the person knows that this is the reset side. And we should also do that on our HTML. Place comments. So if I come to this header, I should have a comment like, always place comments, it's very important. I will have a comment like header section. I'll have a comment like header section to show that from this point down to this point is the header section. So placing a comment is very important. For you to place a comment is what you do on your keyboard is you hold alternate and you put a slash. For you to place a comment, hold the control button and you put the slash. Look at what I typed on the screen. To place a comment, hold down the control and press the slash, and that comment sign will come out. It will come out this way. Then you write your comments, it will change colors. This is how to comment. So once you're done with this, we are done with our default what do you call it, our CSS reset. So let me check if we have any message at all. I believe you guys can still see my screen because I can see it from this end. Let me check if we have any message. Good evening. Okay, we are good to go. Bright, can you, if you cannot see my screen again, can you rejoin, Bright? So we are good to go. I've seen that there is everyone is on the same track. So next thing is our header. Now there is another thing we need to do, but I will not teach us today. It will be on another class. Let me start with a small aspect of this. I'm meant to teach you guys variables, but it will crack your brain for now. So let's simply go to normal styling. After all, after this class, maybe on the next class, I'll teach you variable. So what is that variable? Let me explain what it is. Variable means you define your colors and your animations so that whenever you are applying any color, you apply the same color all through your web. But don't worry, that will make that might actually mess up with your brain today. So some people it might not, but some people it might. So let's take it slow and steady. We'll go into header. So we have a header, and inside the header, all our header should look this way. You know how the header of a website is always in block. The header of a website is always in block, just like this place I'm about to type this thing. So you target your header and you do it this way. Let's do that. I will say header. I will say header, and inside the header I should give it a background. Let's scroll up so that whatever thing we are doing we'll see it here. Inside the header I should give it a background color. So background color is the color that we'll have at the back. So this is we can pick the colors from this image. Can you see the colors we have here? From the image we have something like red and orange and that, so we can pick red. Let's see what we have. If we pick this red, the red is too shouty, so we can make it something like this color of red, and look at what happens. Everything on the background changes to red. Can you see that, guys? Look at what happens. Everything changes to red on this background because we've given the header. So everything, both the logo and this our navigations, they will all change to red because the background is red. So let's leave this way and get our logo. We want to reduce the size of this logo. So the logo have a class of logo. Can you see it inside the span image, class of logo? So we come over here. I can just leave this below here and select. So what you do in CSS is that you pick this HTML structure or the HTML tags or the HTML class or the HTML ID. Once you pick it, you're telling it that go to this place. If you reach at this certain point, come and do something. So we have what we call selector. What I did on this header, this is the header here is a selector. We selected the header and the background color is a declaration. We declared, it's just as if you praying. For the Christians, the Muslims, it's just as if you pray. You know, when you pray, you declare things that I want this to happen in my life, I want this to happen. So that is basically what we are doing here. you select your prayer points. Can be what you select. If you're praying for money, okay, your prayer points will be money. Then you declare, I declare that I will be rich, I declare that I'll be. So that's what we're doing on CXX. When you select that particular thing, you declare. So the header, this is called a selector. Inside the call bracket, this is called a call bracket. Inside the call bracket, you declare, you tell it what you want to, what the changes you want to see on this aspect of this particular one I selected. So let's select logo. Logo has a class. A class, for you to select a class, you make a full stop and you type in the name of the class. The logo has a class of logo. You can see it, logo. So a class selector, you make a period, that's a full stop, then you press in the class logo. So this is a class selector. You create a gap and you open up your call brackets. So once we do this, we want to reduce the size of our logo. So let's give it a width of 50 pixels to reduce the size to go down. So width of 50 pixels, and when we go, you can see how it takes the width of 50 pixels. You can see how small it is. It's no more big again. So we've done this, but remember this red that I chose, we have to change the color because it's not even matching with the color of the header. If you look of the logo, if you look at the logo, we have blue, dark blue, and we have something like gold. So it's better we make our header to be white so that our logo can appear very well. Then later on we can style the whole page of the website using the color from the logo, and that will make it to be synonymous. So let's go back to our header and we can basically leave the background color to be white. So I will remove this and I will type white as a background color. So you will notice that nothing happened because everything is white, right? Let's start balancing it now. So what I'm going to balance right now, I will shift this down. Let me adjust this down. What we are going to balance right now, do we have any comments so far? I guess we are all good. Let me check. Okay, we are all good. All right, let's continue. So what we're going to balance right now, for it to appear very well, we've given it a background color. Let's give it a margin. What is a margin? A margin is a space outside your content. If you've gone through most of my videos on TikTok, you will see I've explained almost everything on CSS. A margin is a space outside the content. What is the content? The content is this header and this navigation. So we'll give it a margin. We want a space. We don't want these things to jam pack with the edge of our browser. So we give it a margin. I normally go with rem. Some people use pixels, but why do someone have asked me on the TikTok before, why do I use rem instead of pixels? Now rem is mostly what developers work with. You understand? Pixels is can work the same thing. Pixels, rem, these are size definitions. These are size definitions. It can work the same thing. You understand? But mostly preferable, more professionally, use rem. So I'll give it a margin of 2 rem. I'm always in love with this 2 rem, and you can see it will give a space. All right, both at the top and at the bottom. Can you see that it has given a space both at the top and at the bottom? Then we'll give it a padding, because the margin is a space outside your content. Padding is a space inside your content. So before we give it a padding, let's balance up the header. You know, our navigation cannot stay straight this way, so we'll go and check our HTML. Look at our HTML. What do we have in our HTML? After, inside the header, we have our logo. That's for the span. After the logo, we have our navigation. All right, so we want to make this a display of flex. Now we are coming to CSS display. What is CSS display? CSS display is how you want it to look like. You know, the common meaning of display as an English word is how you want something to look like. If someone tells you come and display this, it means come and show this. Let's see. So CSS display, we have display of flex, we have display of grid. For the display of flex, it is in 2 directions majorly. Display of flex has 4 ways, but in 2 major directions, either horizontally from left to right or vertically from top to bottom. The horizontal is called the row, the vertical is called the column. So I'm going to give it, look at how it works now. The header is the parent. It's just like someone that asked me that question in our group chat today. that I talk about parent div, I talk about child div. Now in this aspect, the header is the parent. So the parent has these two children, span and nav. Then these two children, the first child, which is span, has his own child. There's the grandchild. Then the navigation, the second child, gave birth to one child, and which is UL. And that one child that the navigation gave birth to four children, which is the LI. You can see how it goes. So if I select this header and I make it a display of flex and a flex direction of row, it's going to place the span, which is the logo, and this navigation side by side. Look at how it is here. It is the logo is on top of these guys. Let's go and do that. We'll make it to have a display of flex and flex direction. Originally, display of flex has a flex direction of row. That's why when I key in made a declaration of display of flex, it's changed to side by side, not top and bottom. The logo is no more on top of the UL. Alright, so we have to give it a gap. A gap means don't be close to yourselves, give yourself a gap. So a gap of 2 rem. I normally like this 2 rem of a thing, so let's just use it. We can still change it. A gap of 2 rem. It has given itself a gap. Then display of flex has other properties. For you to align it very well, can you see that our logo and our navigations, the logo is on top this way, and you can see there is a gap here. That means it's not balanced. So when you have a display of flex, you have to balance some things. So to balance, we'll make it to align at the center, and we'll make it to justify. Okay, so display of flex goes with these two balance items: align items, center. You can see the logo is now placed at the center of this navigation. It's now placed at the center. Then you justify. Our justify is going to be space around. So justify contents, we're going to choose space around. Also, okay, let's use space between. Space between means take this. You see what happened now? Let me take it back. I'll remove it again. Justification, space between, create a space, carry the logo, which is the first child, and place at the left hand side. Take the navigation, which is the second child, take it to the right hand side. I want these guys to space themselves. So justify content, space between. They will automatically space themselves, and you can see that they automatically space themselves. Alright, so we continue now. We are not yet done. This is for the aspect of the logo. Then let's make it to have a border bottom. You know that tiny line that goes beneath the website header, that tiny line is called a border bottom or a box shadow. I will do it in 2 ways. Remember, there is no one singular way of doing something in web. There is no one singular way of doing something. I'm going to do that in 2 ways. Either I give it a border bottom. I will choose a border. Look at a border bottom. If I choose a border bottom, I'll give it 1 pixel solid. 1 pixel means the size should be 1 pixel. Then this solid means it should be a normal line, not a dotted line, not a dashed line. If I want dotted line, I will make dotted. You see dotted over here. If I want dashed, I will make dashed. You see dashed. But we want it solid, just a normal line. So 1 pixel solid, I can make it which color? Black. And you see a line will appear underneath. But do you know why our line could not reach the end? It's because of the margin. So if I take away this margin, our line will reach to the end. So you see that. Now you can do it this way, but I don't like doing it this way. Let me take the second way. The second way is creating a box shadow. The box shadow is just as if you as a human being, you placed a box outside your house and it created a shadow. You know, these things are English words. English words. All these things are English words. You understand? So let's give it a box shadow. This is box shadow. Then we define our box shadow. A box shadow has x-axis. For those people that did mathematics very well, a box shadow has the x-axis, which is a horizontal shadow, the y-axis, which is a vertical shadow. Then the third property on the box shadow is the what they call it, should I say the shadow or the gradient? It's not the gradient. How will I explain it? Is the blur property. Yes, blur, that's the third property, and the fourth property is the color. So I'll make it one pixel. First property is this, one pixel. Second property is this. You can see our shadow is coming up. You see what is happening here now? You see what is happening here? That's, let me take it back again. Let me take it back again. One pixel. This is for your x. For your y value, one pixel. You see what is happening. Then we'll give it 2 pixels or 4 pixels. This 4 pixels, which is the third one, is for the shadow. Can you see it has created a shadow? Then we can make it black. Black is the color. If we choose blue, it will turn to blue color. You can see it has turned to blue color. So let's make it black. Let's make it black. Now it's not looking good, right? Very well. We can decide to adjust that. So adjusting it, these 4 pixels, we can reduce it to 2 pixels. All right. Then these 2 pixels, if it's not yet good, we can reduce it to 1 pixel. And the 1 pixel is not appearing, so let's make it back 2 pixels. You start balancing up. You understand? Then if you don't want this value here, you can make this one 0. So it depends on what you want. You can start balancing till you get what you want, or you can change it to 1 and take this one to 0. You start balancing till you get what you want. Then why is our box shadow covering all these things? It's still because of our margin. So do you know we can take away this margin here? We can take away this margin here and take the margin to our logo. So if I take away this margin here, you can see it's covering very well. Let's make this 1 pixel. You can see it's covering very well. Then we can go to our logo, give our logo a margin. Alright, so we can give this span, that's our logo, a margin, and give this navigation a margin, so that the box shadow will cover from the left end stream to the end stream. So let's come over here and give our logo, which is the span, a margin. We'll give it the same kind of margin of 2 rem, and it will give gap. You can see that margin of 2 rem. If the 2 rem is too much, we'll make it 1 rem. So this is it for the header. We are not yet done. We have to space these navigations that are close here. We have to space them out and make it to be in a proper way. So let's continue. We'll go and look for where the navigation is. You can see it, the navigation, nav, UL. So we'll come over. We'll say go to nav. That is called a selector now. Navigation, nav. Go to nav. Then what should you do at nav? Go to UL of nav. What are you doing there? They are the same thing. I can decide to take away this nav and leave only UL. I can decide to take away UL and leave only nav. Why? Because we have only one UL in nav. Alright, so I can decide to take away that, but let's leave it this way and see. As we start styling, we can make changes to that. Give it a margin of 2 rem. Let's see. You can see it has created that gap already, a margin of 2 rem. Now make it to have what? Since they are stacked up together, nav UL, make them to have a display of flex. A display of flex. You can see once you give it a display of flex, they will space around this way, but they are jam packed, so we'll space them. For us to space them, you already know what we are doing. Display of flex, you give a gap. Let's make the gap to be 4 rem, and they will space very well. Do we have any comments? We are all good, right? Okay, give a thumbs up. Are we all good? All right. Okay, Stephanie, this we are all good. So let's continue. Now that we have this, it is spaced around, right? We'll continue. If the margin is too much, can you see that some of the margins are too much? Since we've spaced them around, we are noticing that the margin is too much. You can reduce it to 1 rem and come back to the this one as well. Cancel. You come back to this one as well. You make it 1 rem if the margin is too much. So you can see this is the normal size of a head. I think this size is okay. Now, you know that we don't normally leave our navigation this way. This is our navigations. We don't leave it this way. We are going to take away these dots, and we are going to take away the blue color and the underline. So let's go. What is responsible for that dot? It is a list. Look at it. It is a list. So list is responsible for that dot. Go and look for list. We'll come over here. We'll say li. But if we say li, something is going to happen. It is going to target all the lists in our browser. So if you want to select only the list for this what do you call it, for this navigation, you make sure you target the parent. Do you know that what we did here has affected our navigation at the bottom? Let's scroll down. This is our navigation at the bottom. What we did at the top, if we don't do it very well, it will affect our navigation at the bottom. So do you know why we have this our navigation? Let's check the navigation at the bottom. Did we give it a nav tag? Let's check. Our quick links is not having a nav tag, it's only having a UL. Let's give it a nav tag so that you see what will happen here. So this is our quick link at the bottom. If I give it a nav tag, if I copy and give it a nav tag, see what will happen. So that when you are starting, you have to be very careful. Now that I've given it a nav tag, let's scroll down. Can you see that what happened at the top is happening here? Alright, so why is it happening here? We did not tell our browser, our code, or we did not tell our IDE that the navigation we are styling is for the header. We told it, go and any place you see nav, make it to be this way. We did not tell it that it's only for the header, and that's why we have this here. Alright, so let's go up. We are going back to CSS and we'll go and report. We'll tell it, please, this nav UL, don't do it for all the nav UL in my IDE. What you are going to do is for the header alone. So I'll give it a gap and I'll type header. Alright, so header nav UL. Let's scroll down and check. If you scroll down here, have you seen that it will come back to the same? This guy will come back to the same way it was, because it is not inside the header. And this is the reason why we keep on saying make sure you get your HTML very well. If you don't do your HTML, if you don't write your HTML codes very well, you will fail 100% in CSS. You understand? If you don't know your HTML, coming to CSS, you disgrace yourself. That is just it. So we have balanced that up. Let's now go up and continue. So for all this list, remove these dots. So I'm going to make it a navigation and a list, or I can leave it as list alone, li. So go to all the lists and remove the dots. What is responsible for that dot? It is called a style type, a list style type. So I will type in list style type. Look at it here, and I'll make it none, N-O-N-E, none, and they will remove. Now they have removed. We don't have the dots again. It is a list style type, and you know it's going to apply to all the lists I have in this VS Code in what we are doing. Why? Because we did not tell it to apply only on the header. We give it all the links. So if I come down to these guys, you will not see those lists again. Alright, we told it go and remove all the lists. We did not just tell it only for the header. It's because we don't need that list even for other things. That's why I left it that way. So let's continue. What is responsible for this underline? The underline we are seeing on this aspect. What is responsible for this underline? It is called the anchor href tag. Remember your href tag. Your href tag is your link tag, which is anchor tag. All anchor tag carries this underline. We are going to remove it. So we'll tag it. We'll come over here. We'll say A is the anchor tag. So all anchor tag, text decoration, underline is a text decoration. Text decoration of none, and the underline will remove. So we have removed the underline. Text decoration of none, we have removed the underline. You see now, our navigation, our header is balancing up. So what is next we're going to do? If we don't like this color, we'll make it a black color, or we'll make it a deep blue color. So come over, still in the anchor ref, href, a color. Let's give it a color of deep blue, that kind of header, that kind of blue on the header, on the logo. Let's make it this color. So it's kind of a deep blue or something like that. So basically we are done with our header. Yes, we are done with our header. There is another thing we need to do, and what we need to do is we need to get a pseudo behavior. What is a pseudo behavior? You know that in a website, if you come and hover means when you move around. If you come and hover your navigation, sometimes you will see some reactions like the color will change, all right, or there will be an underline. That's called a hover effect. So let's make the color to change. That's a pseudo. So I'm going to do it this way. We'll come down. I'll make the dot a is the all our link, then I'll make a colon and I'll press hover. So what is the meaning of this? It means that whenever you hover on any anchor tag, any link tag, hover means go over it, go around it. Whenever you go around it, change, let's tell it to change the color. So color of, give it a declaration, color of gold. Yes, so let's go and check. It means whenever we go around our navigation, our links, change the color to gold. So let's see it. This is what we have. The color has changed to gold. So whenever you go over the navigation, the color will change to gold. Alright, but you know this gold is conflicting with the white, so let's make it something thicker. Maybe let me bring down, is this color okay? Let's manage the color the way it is. Okay, I think let's manage this color this way. So when we hover, we have this. Is there any questions so far? Let me check. Bright, you still struggling with network. Are we good? Should I continue? Are we okay, guys? Good. Okay, pretty well. Let's continue. So if we are okay with this, you can leave it this way. If you are not okay, you can make it to have an underline. It depends on what you want. An underline is a border button, all right, but this is okay by me. This is okay by me. Remember, when we click on home, it will take us to home. All right, what we've done on our HTML. So as it is now, we are okay with our header. We have done our header and we are good. Very good. What's the next thing? Our hero. Let's go and check, guys. Come to your HTML. The hero section, will scroll down. This is the header. Let's go. This is the header. So the main section, this first one is the home, which is the hero. So I'll place a comment and I'll say hero section. So our hero section has an ID of home. Remember, we have an ID selector, we have a class selector. What we did on the logo is called a class selector. So since we have an ID of home, some people will come and say class. Some people, you will come and say class hero. If you do it this way, it is the same thing. But since I know I can select my ID, I don't need to have the class here. I can decide to put the class in another place. I can come over to this div. You see this big div that covers this. I can give it a class of hero, but I can leave it the way it is. You understand? So let's go to our ID selector. An ID selector, you have a pound sign. So I'll make a pound sign and I'll make home. Alright, this is an ID selector. I'm selecting the ID of home. So the ID of home, look at this line, look at the indentation line. This line covers the whole home. So everything from here down to here belongs to home. How many things are there? How many children? 2 children. Look at the first div and look at the second div. That's 2 children. And inside the first child, we have 2 children again, H1 and paragraph. We have 3, H1, paragraph and anchor ref. Then inside the second div, we have 1 child, which is the image. Now we are going to make this to be a display of flex, because we want to place this right up at one side and the image at another side. So let's go back. ID of home, display of flex. You can see what is happening right now. The text has gone to one side, the image has gone to one side. No problem. Let's continue. Then we'll give it a gap of, let's say, 1 rem. 1 rem is okay. They will give each other a gap. They will make it to justify content. We have our normal space between. We'll leave it as space between. Nothing will change for now. Let's keep on going. We give it a margin. A margin should be 2 rem. 2 rem is good, and it has a margin. Okay. After this, what is the next thing we're going to do? This is the margin. It has given that gap. Alright. After this, we're coming to our image. Our image is too big. Our image is too big. So let's continue. Now, we have my images under. We have only one image here. So do you know I can select? I can do it this way. I will select the ID of home and select image tag, img tag, because I have one image here. It will work for me that way. So the pound sign, which is an ID selector of home, then I have img. This is called a descendant selector. What I did right now is called a descendant selector. All these things I'm saying, I've done the videos are on the TikTok pages. Selectors, type of CSS selectors. This is called a descendant selector. What is a descendant selector? Are we getting, wait, is our time counting? I had some sound. Jeez, it will end in 15 minutes. Our time is counting already. Okay, let's go. Let's see if we'll finish the hero today. Alright, so this is a descendant selector. What is the father or the grandfather? The grandfather is home. Can you see it? ID of home. That's the grandfather, and you can see the guy here, and this is the grandfather. So it's a descendant. You are just like human being. Human beings are descendants from their great grandfather. So this is a descendant selector. I'll make it to have a width of 100%. Do you know what this means? A width, only this width that I've given it, the size has reduced automatically. The size has reduced. A width of 100% means go and take the size. Don't be more than your father. That's just what you're telling it. The width of 100%, it says your width should be your normal size, but don't be bigger than your father. Don't be, it's just as if you're in a family house. Your father built a house, you and your brothers or your siblings, maybe one of the celebration time, maybe Salah time or Christmas time, you guys will come back to the house. You are not, it's not only you that owns that house, so you shouldn't feel that you are bigger than other people in that house. So this width of 100% means don't be bigger than any other person here, and that's why the size is reduced. Immediately we give it to it. So go and be your normal self, be your 100% self, but don't be bigger than your father, which is that home. And that is what we did here. You can leave it this way, but there are other things to add. Object fit of cover. Object fit of cover means don't shrink, don't reduce yourself. You understand? The width of 100%, it was not reduced, rather it was placed under its father. Then object fit of cover means don't reduce your size, cover very well. If you are big, you are big. If you are small, you're small. You understand? Cover very well, and you can see it's balanced. What are the another thing we can do here? We'll leave our image. Let's come and focus on our text. Let's go to our text. Our text has what is the first div. Can you see it? Pound sign div. So we are going to do dot pound sign. We have two divs, one div for this and one div for the image. But are you even aware that this div we gave this image is not even working? Because we can directly work on the image without the div, and that's what we did. So in order not to complicate ourselves, I can remove this div. Let's try and see. I can remove this. Oh my goodness, the div has refused to work. Let's keep it back. Let's keep it back. So I refuse to work, but it should have worked. Dot. Hold on. Let me come, because I did not make reference to this div. So let's bring this guy back here and refresh. Okay. The div is angry. Let's keep it back. He's angry for now. So what we have now, let's continue. I'm going to make reference to this first one. It is called the first child of the parents. This div, it has h1 index, so I can give it a class. Of hero text. Okay, I can give it a class of hero text. In order for me not to complicate things, I can give it a class of hero text. So I'll go to my CSS and say dot hero text. Dot hero, I must repeat that same class. Dot hero text, give it a display of flex. They will go to this column side, they will go to the row side. You see how they are? They will go to the row side. No problem. Balance it up. How do you balance it up? Flex direction of column. And they will come back here. Then a gap of, let's make it 1 rem, and they will space each other. So this is what we have. They will space each other. Pretty good. Let me check what time do we have now. Accurate timekeeper. What's our time? 11 minutes. Okay, let's keep going. So we have it this way. Now if you want your hero to have a kind of specific color, you can add a color. It's not even necessary for now. Then these items will have empowering market leaders. You can see that our text is normal text. We don't want this text, the font family. So let's go back at the top. After our CSS reset, we'll select body and change the font family. Do you know that this body, everything on our VS Code is inside our body? Look at it over here. This is the body. So both the header and everything are inside the body. So if I select the body and I say font family, these are the ones VS Code can provide for us. We can import others. We can embed others. So let me check this guy, if this guy is good. No, I don't like this guy. Font family. There's one I normally use, Franklin, and I normally use this two guys, Lucida and Franklin Gothic. Even this Arial Helvetica, let's use this. This is okay. So empowering market leaders, everything will change. So let's manage this one. Empowering market leaders, we can make it to be blue color. Alright, let's change the color. But remember, this our text is at the top. You can see how it is on this image. There is gap at the bottom here, so we can balance that up. Go to home. Alright, give it an align item. It is a display of flex. Align item center, and it will come to the center. Now our image should be balancing with our right up is at the center. This way is at the center. If you adjust, you can see that is at the center. So we are good with this one. Other styles can come in. You can decide to change the color of this empowering something. Empowering something is H what? It is H1. So you can make dot hero text H1. Do you know that this class of hero text covers H1 and paragraph? So you can say dot hero text H1. This is a descendant selector, a child selector. I mean, this one is called a child selector. Color, let's choose blue. Remember that same blue that we chose for this first one? We can go and copy it. Where is that blue? I think I chose it. These are the blue color. RGB 7780. So let's come and make it the same color. RGB 7780. So it will, let's refresh. Okay, so look at the color. Empowering market leaders. So we have this right now. Empowering market leaders. We are good to go. Then this is explore our services. You know that it has the same and hover with our navigation because it is also an anchor ref. So we can decide to give this guy a button shape. So explore, you come over it, you target the guy, and it is under hero text. So we say hero text A. This is it, A, anchor ref, hero text A. So I can copy this hero text so that I will not have much to write. Hero text A, a background color, let's use that blue, RGB 7780. You can see it has that background color. Then you make it a padding of 1 rem. It will give you this, a border radius. Border radius means the corner of 1 rem. A border radius means the corner. So the corner is now, let's make it 2 rem. It's a button, so let's make the corner 2 rem so you can see the corner, right? Explore your services. Give it a color of white. Give it a color of white so that it can appear. You can see it. Explore your services. So have a color of white. Explore your services. Then the button is too big. You can decide to balance up the button by giving it a particular width, right? You can decide to give it a fixed width, so width of 100 pixels. If 100 pixels is too small, you can make it 400 pixels. Let's see, it's too big, let's make it 300 pixels. Alright, then text align. You can see that the thing is at the end. Give it a text align of center. It will move to the center, so it's now at the center. You have your button. Are we still in class? How many more minutes? Are we still in class? Okay, we are still in class. It will end in 5 minutes. Okay, pretty good. So I think we are even progressing. We are done with our header, so we can give it a hover. All right, so I will copy this thing and give it a hover. And when it hovers, we want the color to change. Background color should change to which color? I had that gold color earlier on, so let's go and copy that gold color. That gold color 165 1727. Let me even copy it instead of saying it. Let me copy it. So background color should be this color when you hover. So if you hover, can you see what is happening now? So when we hover, we have this. Pretty good. So we've done the header, we've done the hero. This is the header, this is the hero. What you need to know is what these things I'm saying, these declarations, you need to know what they are doing. Once you know the function of this declaration, you can do it any style, any way you want to do it. You can do it in any style at all. All right, how many minutes do we have? I'm just kind of curious about our time now. 4 minutes. Okay, so make sure once you know all the things I'm saying, I know their functions. That's why whenever I just talk about it and we declare, the function will come up. So try and know the functions. There are many ways you can build this. You can do the CSS of this particular stuff. There are many ways you can do it. What you just need to know is the declarations of your CSS. And let's go to about Vanguard Strategic Advisory. So once we are done with our hero, I think we are okay with it this way. We can decide to give it a border button. All right, so you can come to that hero, go up to hero, that's this main hero, give it a border button. A border button means let a line go at the bottom. A border button of 1 pixel solid. So this is it. There is the border button. It means let a line go at the border. You understand? So that's a border button. Then if you don't like the line as it is very close to this image, you can make it to have what they call it, you can make it to have a padding at the bottom. So look at it, padding bottom 1 rem, and the line will give you space from this particular distance. So this is our hero, a simple way we and style. There are more other ways to do this. So I think what's our time now? 2 minutes. So okay, the time is good. So let's bring this Vanguard about Vanguard's advisory. Let's bring it to the center. That's the about me. So we go over to about. Let's give it a comment. This is about. So let's make a comment of about section. This is the about section. So ID of about. After the ID of about, we have H2. How many H2 do we have in the about? It's just one H2. That means, oh, we have two H2s. Okay, so we can target all the H2 and bring them to the center. So I will do this, a quick one before the time runs out. Pound sign about H2. Text align center. Text align center, they will go to the center. Color, where is that blue color? RGB. Let's use this blue color so you can see that. All right, think we are done, we are done, we are done. Under a minute, yes, we are done. So the way it is now, I have to save. We've already done well, so let's